I'm Kim Kelly, and if you haven't watched any of my videos before, I am the CEO and co-founder of a company named Pepelwerk. And my background as a chief HR officer, as somebody who is an advocate and very actively involved in my students' school district and different government bodies, I am really not surprised that my career evolved into becoming the CEO of such an innovative platform. I guess the question that I want to put out to everybody is really, is the government really about we the people or we the organization? And this is not a political conversation. This is a practical conversation. And my obsession is really about the use of AI to help us all do the things that we know socially, economically are necessary, but do it in an easier way and maybe see a way through our past. And so to make sure that we have a way to apply this really amazing technology in different ways. So one of the things that you might have heard about is the big, beautiful tax bill. And the big, beautiful tax bill also could be something that you thought was associated to DOGE. Yes and no, obviously, because we need to understand what taxes we pay in order to understand what we pay out, which is really what DOGE was charged with doing or is charged with doing. But most people are just not aware of how our tax system works and how we collect money and how we pay out money. So I do encourage anybody, if you have not already or you do not already know this website, usafacts.org. It's a really nonpartisan way of understanding our spending. And of course, for me, my work is all about how income tax related to our salaries, what we pay in for our income, gets them paid out through or to education and work-related programs and systems. And really what's interesting to me is that most people are unaware of what goodness true government leaders are doing. And what goodness means is really the ability to appropriate dollars for the benefit of its citizens. So you know that and you see that through different tax bills and legislations, that the intention of spending and allocating our tax dollars to go back into the pool of monies that should be distributed and be used to make a citizen's life better, more effective, efficient, etc. Sometimes we just don't get there. And I think it really, historically, yes, we know that there's corruption, we know that there's fraud, and we know that there's waste, and we know that there's gamification. But the cause of those things are all over the board. Systematic issues, there's not enough, there's too many people participating in the ecosystem, there are not enough checks and balances. And so when it comes down to specifically how our government, through our public education system, through our nonprofit entities, fund or take our salary and income taxes and then go and distribute them into grant or different funding mechanisms that are intended for the end of the citizen, in benefit of the citizen. Sometimes those things just get jumbled up. And so this is an example of the way that we exist today. And we have one governing body, and then that governing body works through other governing bodies to then make decisions on which region, zip code, group of people are going to get access to money. And so you create these tiers where money has to funnel through, where human decision making has to be made. And in some cases, you find this really, really expensive, both in time and money, replica of work. Sometimes people are trying to innovate systems and processes and use technology that have already been designed. And so you're spending money out and out and out to pay different people to do the same thing and or different organizations to build the same thing. And by the time it gets down to the beneficiary, which could be somebody who is in 8th grade, as of today, we have 8th graders being required to make decisions about their future in a way that they probably aren't aware. And of course, if the parents aren't paying attention, they're not aware. And it could be adults in career transition. We all know that AI is creating this rapid economy of work change it's not just about changing work, it's about the rate at which work is changing. And what drives our change is consumer adoption, business strategies, right? So it's not like we're not all aware of how we're buying things differently, the things that we are participating in. So obviously we know that our work is going to change. Our military in transition, we have over 200,000 military in transition per year that are leaving military services, but there are also almost double that in terms of people who are creating an economy out of getting them a job. So when you see our entire social structure, it is almost impossible to move money and give you, the citizen, the perspective and understanding of how did our tax system, how did our governing system really work for me. That's why pepelwerk was really created. It's not to be another technology solution. In fact, I'm not intending to be the only solution out there, but it is designed to leverage AI, community data, community-driven data, and make sure that every player that has to play this game of getting education to get employment so that we have a functioning economy has a way to play effectively, efficiently, and with some level of accountability to our funding. So when you strip away layers of rooftops and control and unnecessary decision making from people that, like, I mean, my daughter was only in 8th grade once. I was only in 8th grade once. We only have this 12-month cycle of time when somebody's life has to move forward. And if we're operating as if the organization's timeline and the authority of the organization is more important than the timeline of the human being, then I think we're doing an in-service through our governing model and really missing the boat on leveraging something as powerful as AI, community-driven data, and automation to help people get the same kind of information, get access to the funds that they were already budgeted to receive, just didn't receive them in time, receive them through a bunch of gatekeepers that don't know their life circumstance, and also have the ability for the organizations who are funding these initiatives, education, work, etc., that they see a clear and accountable blockchain of data that says, hey, you know, Joe and Susie, we budgeted $10,000 per year for them to deploy for their learning so that they could get the jobs that are in demand. But right now, you don't have a way of doing that. Right now, our system says you have one organization that fed another organization that possibly fed a program that possibly fed the citizen. And so obviously with pepelwerk, I think that we have this beautiful opportunity in time to say, like, we want to use this kind of technology for the benefit of the greater good. And I'm not ashamed to say that we're a for-profit organization, because when money is used for good, it's not about nonprofit or for-profit. It's about just straight accountability for money and providing value in this magnanimous change that we're all confronted with. So if you're watching this content and you like what I'm saying, you think this kind of change is necessary for you as a citizen to understand the works of your governing systems, your education system, how your tax dollars get spent, share, subscribe, even comment on how you think that we can leverage technology like AI, like automation, to accelerate this kind of amazing lift in our human experience. Because the challenge for us, especially when it comes to government structure, is being willing to step out of the cycle, being willing to simplify the administration, because really what we had to do before just isn't practical and isn't sustainable for the future. So it's important that we all take this opportunity to learn how we can all evolve with the future of work.